Hello everyone, Tech here, back at it again with another discussion video. And today we're going to be talking about the fall of stun and the rise of tech cards that have been designed to be extremely powerful. So powerful that they could take out decks like stun without any issue. And today's argument, we're going to be also referencing the end of the floodgate era. Cards like Necro Valley, Summon Limit. Oh yeah, that's another card I need to put on the list. Hold on. Move this icon over here for a second. Boop. My apologies, I was too stupid to remember this. But anyways, back on topic. I believe today that there is officially a reason why Konami had decided to mass produce these Time Lords. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and mean. There's a reason why Konami decided to reproduce these motherfuckers. And there's a simple reason for that. They believe that they were referencing the 2017 Asia Championships. Anybody remember that? If you remember that event, Barrier Statues won the entire event in a Tier 0 Zodiac format. And keep in mind that Link decks are basically a weaker version of Zoo. All Link decks basically right now. Like Stargwales and Gokis, they're basically weaker versions of Zodiac right now that just shit out a whole bunch of extra deck monsters. Because that's all they are. And Zoo managed to take out Tier 0 Zodiac in the OCG in a format where Zoo in the OCG, with aside from the fact they didn't have Nodin, was at full power. That's just ridiculous. And I personally like stun. I agree with stun. But that's a video discussion for another time about why I think anti-meta should always be decent. Not a guaranteed win, but a much more assured win than, not even assured, a much more possible win for a stun in general than like meta versus meta. A stun should have that advantage against meta. It shouldn't be a guaranteed win, but it should be an advantage, not a guaranteed win. And that's what, in my opinion, what stun is. You have to build the deck correctly, but I don't want to get too much into it. And I believe that these Time Lords here, all 5 of these motherfuckers, is mainly Zephion and Camion and Mataion, were made to counter, low-key counter, stun. I believe Konami not reproduced, because some of these cards were never made before, like Zephion. I need to use proper English when I'm speaking because I'm an idiot. But anyways, these Time Lords basically counter everything that stun is all about. Heavy back row, Zephion takes care of it. That one Dyna on the board that you need to clear out, Camion can clear it out without you having to worry about Strike, Recall, Dark Bribe, Mirror Forces, or any of these other fucking cards. It's gonna get to a point where us statue players are gonna have to start teching in Forbidden Chalices in our deck when True Draco finally dies. When True Draco is no more, we're going to have to start teching in new cards entirely if we want Barrier Statues to continue being the deck that they once were for us. Because these guys right here, cards like Forbidden Chalice, would do just fine. But these guys are just so overpowered. They can't be killed by battle or by card effect, and you take no damage, and each of them have a different board wipe effect. And we're going to focus on Zephion today because this is the one that's getting hyped the most. Out of all these floodgates here, the only one that can actually put Zephion on hold is skill drain. The rest of these floodgates that I have to showcase here to you guys, which are some of the more popular ones in stun decks overall, Restrict, Zombie Wolf, Marcos Cosmos, Defissure, Lose a Turn, Summon Limit. Now Summon Limit's gaining popularity, even though I still think it's shit. And Necro Valley, one of the better cards out of the many that I've had to show out of these spells and traps, but not the best anymore. Because I took my hero deck to locals, and I've had Zephyr the Time Lord summoned against me when I tried to summon Necro Valley against True Draco. Thus, Necro Valley has become a useless piece of shit. And just by summoning a copy of Zephyr the Time Lord or Camion the Time Lord can literally just put this card or any of these other cards, it's with the exception of Skill Drain and Shambles. Skill Drain is the only one of these 15 cards up here in the main deck that I'm showcasing you guys that can actually put these guys in their place right now. It's going to get to a point at barrier stats you're going to have to start teching in shit that the deck was never supposed to run before. You're going to have to run Stretch. You're going to have to run cards like Recall. You're going to have to run Compulsoraries. You're going to have to run cards like Forbidden Chalice in the main deck when that card has no place in barrier statue in the first place. And you're going to have to start teching in Book of Moon and Book of Eclipse, even though I think those cards are absolutely horrible in the fucking deck. And are cards that will make you play the deck so improperly it will turn most of your formerly consistent hands into brick hands. These 5 right here, I believe, are Konami's first agenda to do away with stun once and for all. Because they know that stun basically puts the shambles on all Link decks. Doesn't matter what Link deck that you're using. If it's Gokis, Stargrails, the new Spirals. Stun puts all those in shambles. This deck was able to get first place in a Tier 0 Zodiac format in the OCG. Asia Championships. Look it up if you guys don't know what I'm talking about. First place. This deck was able to get in a Tier 0 Zoo format in the OCG. The only thing that they were missing was doing, and aside from that, the whole deck was basically complete at full power. Super duper consistent and all with Drain Disruption and all. But, yeah. And it's not just these fuckers. It's the fact that they're starting to make decks that don't require you to special summon. Decks like Phantasm Spirals, the true Draco archetype. And I believe that they first tried this with Monarchs. And they saw a very positive result because while Monarchs were around, you didn't see this deck as a thing. And Monarchs basically prevented statues from being able to go full force in the format. But the moment that Monarchs left, statues started coming back. And people started running the deck again. And when Monarchs basically weren't at their full power anymore, Stun was able to come back basically at full force. It is indeed a very scary piece of work to deal with when you're in a format of nothing but special summon reliant decks. But overall, I believe Konami knows what they're doing. They're trying to do away with this deck fast before Link summoning takes over. They're trying to do away with this deck quick. They're trying to pull whatever last minute quick thinking tricks that they have up their sleeve before Stun manages to take over. Because all the decks that are popular out there that are going to be ran are special summon decks. That's why they're pushing Phantasm Spirals, they're pushing True Draco, and they're pushing Time Lords. And at a certain point, I believe they're going to succeed in Stun no longer being a good deck. Stun as basically has its days numbered as a decent budget deck. I believe that low-key Konami's trying to do away with all of our budget options in Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, take a look at Link Summoning. Trains, Synchrons, Heroes, Destiny Heroes of Paradise, I can't count that. Pure Utopia, Ludolites, all these decks were... Oh, and Cyber Dragons, and all these decks were potential tier 2 rogue decks that could put in a lot of damage on the board really quickly. Or put a really powerful boss monster on the board. And even with Kaijus being around the corner like that, those decks still stuck it out. Konami put a lot of those decks down overnight, with Link Summoning being announced for Yu-Gi-Oh! In July 2017. I mean, that just basically put the damper on rogue decks. And I believe this is proof that Konami is trying to strip us of our rogue deck freedom and forcing us to buy Link monsters to put in onto our extra decks. So they can hit those Link monsters and suck us up of our money even further. I'm just telling you guys, if Lightsworn, Herald, and Cosmo gets hit, all three of them get hit on the list and they all become so fatherized to the point that I can't play any of the three, I'm done with Yu-Gi-Oh! And then I'm just going to go on to play other random computer games online, because this is ridiculous. I know my decks are on the verge of being killed off, one by one. Lightsworn will probably be the last one, but Lightsworn's going to take some L's eventually. I think Herald is going to be the first to go, then Cosmo, then Lightsworn. At a certain point. And if that happens, I'm done with Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm either going back to GO format, 2014 Duelist Alliance format, or I'm just quitting card games altogether. It's that simple. So, yeah. This is Team Tech signing out. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Peace.